Hello guys, I'm back with another video. Today we're gonna be talking about Charles Taylor. It is an amazing topic that's going to blow your mind. You know, the West and America have brainwashed our minds. They have brainwashed the minds of Africans to the extent that we only listen to them. I want you to listen to what this lawyer said about Charles Taylor, the reason why he was persecuted. You know, African leader doesn't deserve such treatment because the same thing that Charles Taylor did, the West and America does it. They even do it more than even the leader that stand for its country in Africa. Once you are African leader, they always put crime on you to make you look small and treat you like some trash just to prosecute you and for Africans to keep backing them. But this is the time. The revolutionary time is here. We will stand for Africa. We will stand for the people of Africa. And we will do everything possible to pass the message over to every African that will be listening. Please learn from this. Learn and learn. Thank you. Keep watching.
Point. People say I defended Charles Taylor. No, I did not.
You did not?
No, people don't understand. I came to represent Charles Taylor after he was sentenced for 50 years imprisonment and after his appeal has been concluded. Okay? That is when Charles engaged me. You know who was his lawyer before me?
Who was?
The current prosecutor of the International Criminal Court was his first lawyer.
Khan.
Khan.
Ah.
And Khan left. Then Courtney Griffiths, King's Counsel of the United Kingdom, one of the most famous black lawyers in the world, represented Charles Taylor.
We remember him on, we gave most of the interviews on BBC at the
Exactly.
time.
Huh? And Courtney was my friend as well. So when Courtney left, Cherno Jallow represented Charles Taylor. Cherno Jallow is now aspiring to be a judge in contest with Batambedu to become a judge at the International Court of Justice.
Cherno Jallow?
Charles Jallow.
Okay, I was going to ask whether of the CRC.
No.
Okay.
Charles Jallow of Sierra Leone.
Okay.
All right? And then when all those were done, then Charles engaged me because I am one of those unique lawyers at the ICC or the International Criminal Bar who is a top investigator and a top trial lawyer. Okay? So that's why my services are highly sought after. So Charles, his complaint was, okay, first, people don't understand that Charles Taylor was not investigated or prosecuted for crimes committed in Liberia. Charles was investigated and prosecuted for crimes committed by the RUF in Sierra Leone.
Revolutionary United Front.
Okay? And the reason is because Charles had allegedly provided weapons and financing to the RUF to go and fight in Sierra Leone. Isn't that what America does on a daily basis? Isn't that what all these Western powers do? Wasn't that which brought Charles Taylor to become head of state of Liberia? He escaped prison in the US. How did he get to Liberia? How did he get the arms to come and overthrow Samuel Doe in Liberia? But this is something that states do on a daily basis. Wasn't Jammeh doing that for Casamance? He was doing that. So countries or heads of states often provide weapons or financing to rebel groups in other countries.
Do you know if Barrow is doing that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I hope he isn't. So that should not be a basis to prosecute any head of state and sentence them to 50 years in prison. But Charles's case was unique. Charles had a falling out with the US. My guess is he therefore deserved to be punished. And therefore, they did this to punish him. I happen to be, because this area of practice is very small, all the players, we all know each other. I know all those who prosecuted Charles. In fact, if I would have access to my bag, I could show you the invitation to Charles Taylor's final day in court when he was being judged and sentenced. I was invited because some of those who prosecuted Charles are people that I have trained or people I have worked with. So we all know each other. We are all friends. We militate around the same circles. So therefore, Charles was sentenced because he is an African leader who had fallen out of favor with the U.S. government, and he was prosecuted for everything that for something that the U.S. does on a daily basis. Charles is the first head of state who is sentenced, convicted and sentenced for providing support to armed forces or rebel groups of another country. He was not prosecuted for crimes he has committed in Liberia. So Charles's human rights violation in Liberia was not an issue. That is something Gambians do not know. The other thing is, Charles felt that the reason why he was convicted was for an arms shipment for which he has no knowledge of. And he wanted someone, an expert investigator, who could organize that investigation and engage the court to revisit his judgment and challenge his conviction in court. Enter SFR. Because I am one of those, that unique breed of lawyers in this business who can lead these investigations and also lead the case in court. That's how I came to represent Charles Taylor.
How do you think your critics will react to, you talking up?
Okay guys, thanks for watching, and drop your comment in the comment section and tell us if it was necessary for them to prosecute Charles Taylor. Share, comment,